Talaga tatanggapin nila. Pag hindi sila tinanggap, wala naman silang magagawa. Right. Oh, don't look at us. It's so awkward. No, no, no. Kanina taon siya. The thing is, if you go up, it will take time again. Unair. HMF Ape ITB Indonesia. HMF Ape. BMF USD. BMF USD. USD. Okay. USD. KM. KMFA. KMFA. OBN. Parliamentary? We need your laptop. No, 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 no. It's not. It's not opening. The other one, the black one. 52880. 528800. Okay, it's working now. I would like to assess the floor since we're having a technical issue right now. We're supposed to go live. I mean, yeah, we're supposed to go live, but we're having a problem, so we decided to just record the session. Do you want to wait until we resolve the live stream to which is being resolved right now, or do you want us to continue with the recording? I mean, you're just recording the session and then uploading it later on. Please use your motion cards. Raise it if it's yes. Yes for just recording. Okay. Parliamentary. Parliamentary system, please. We will just be recording this session, and I'll be asking for a suspension of standing orders before election. We need to live stream the election. Live stream? Oh, we're live stream already. Noise. All good? The Chair of the Assembly calls this session of the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly to order at 8:58 a.m. GMT plus 8 Kuala Lumpur time. Delegates, please be seated and be prepared. We will now proceed with the roll call to establish quorum. The Chair of the Assembly now calls the Regional Secretary to conduct the roll call and confirm if quorum has been established. I am passing the floor to the Regional Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the floor. Cristiani Francisco, IPSF APRO Secretary. I will now be starting the roll call, starting off with our full members organization. Please raise your hand once your organization has been called. IPGASF India, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, NZAPSO New Zealand, NAPSO Australia delegated their vote to NZAPSO New Zealand, FJCPPHA Philippines, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NewsPoo Singapore, FOP Nepal delegated their vote to NewsPoo Singapore, PISA Thailand, and ISMA Farsi Indonesia. Moving on with our members in association, MAPS India, BEM FFUE Indonesia, BEM FF UNER Indonesia, BEM USD Indonesia, BEM Kemafar Unpad Indonesia, BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia, HMF APITB Indonesia, UOP MSU Myanmar, APSA New Zealand, JPPHA PI Philippines, UFA Philippines, and PSA Taiwan. Strength of the House is 10, simple majority 6, 2/3 6, full members 11, and members in association 11. Quorum has been established. The Assembly is duly constituted and may proceed with its business. I am now passing the floor back to the Chair.
Thank you, Regional Secretary, for the roll call. We are now resuming the standing orders. Do we have a proposer? Proposed by PSAT Thailand, seconded by FJCPPHA the Philippines. We are now voting for this procedural motion. All those for? All those against? Motion carried unanimously. We're now proceeding and continuing with the standing orders. Let us proceed to the next motion. Motion 10, as tabled. This, the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the annual report of the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2024 to 2025. I would like to call on the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office to present her annual report to the Assembly. Evelyn, fresh from Indonesia, you have 7 minutes to present your annual report. Ready? I am now passing the floor to the Regional Relations Officer. Evelyn, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Greetings to the Assembly. My name is Evelyn, and I am the Regional Relations Officer for IPSF APRO 2024-2025. And first of all, I would like to give my sincerest apologies for my absence in the offline Regional Assembly for the past few days. The reason behind my absence is that I had my thesis defense yesterday. Hence, I was unable to physically be present during the first few days of the regional assembly. However, I did join the assembly online, and I was very happy to see the active participation from all of our CPs. And now moving on to my annual report. Um, I'm sorry if I am not as fluent. I didn't get the time to prepare a speech for this. So here's the annual report. And I would start by saying that when I was entrusted with the position of the Regional Relations Officer, I knew that this mandate would be my hardest mandate in IPSF yet, and it um, it became a mandate where I had a lot of learning opportunities. And please continue on. Next. To start with my progress in the IPSF APRO membership expansion in the region, what I would focus on in this part is the approaching the MIA applications. So in this mandate, we are approaching University of Puti Sastra, Cambodia, and pursuing MIA membership, and also NAPS Myanmar. Currently, we have received the bidding materials from NAPS Myanmar, and we are currently still in contact with University of Puti Sastra, Cambodia to help them in submitting their bidding materials for MIA application. Continuing on. Next, for the engagement and active participation regarding IPSF APRO CPs and MOs, this is more so focused regarding my internal portfolio in the RRO position. To conclude this point, I would say that in my mandate, we were able to successfully conduct all of our internal projects in this mandate before the fourth quarter of the mandate. And continuing on. Going on to the recognition of IPSF APRO and IPSF APRO members. Here we also have the external projects in our portfolio. Currently, the only projects that has not been conducted yet is the APRO Connect number 2 and number 3, which are podcast episodes, which are planned to be released in August and also September. Continuing on. Regarding the external partnerships in the region, we had been reaching out to several partnerships. However, in this mandate, we were not able to successfully get a partnership for our regional projects. Continuing on. Here are some of my representations externally for IPSF, and also the my assistance to the regional working groups regarding requests for speakers and also sponsors. Continuing on. I have also assisted the APPS 2025 and GPPD 2025 reception committee by providing them with the list of sponsors in the regional office. Continuing on. In this portion of my presentation, I would like to focus on the work of my sub-coordinators and also subcommittees. In my internal portfolio, my sub-coordinator, Nadine, has been able to help me immensely in leading my team to successfully conduct all of our internal projects. And I would like to shout out my internal relations subcommittee as well. Miss Kelly, Miss Maureen, Mr. Harry, Miss Emery, Mr. Evran, Miss Gion, Mr. Ben, and also Miss Isa. Because with their help, we were able to conduct all of our internal projects in the region. And I would also like to commend my external subcoordinator, Miss Alina. With her help, we were able to conduct several external projects in the region, and also my external relations subcommittees, Miss Kelly, Miss Karin, Miss Avery, Mr. Kion, Mr. Yoga, and also Miss Sally. Next, here are some of my alignments with the regional office aims and plans. Continuing on, here are a list of the internal meetings I had throughout the mandate. Continuing on. To close my speech, I would like to thank the Assembly and also the APRO CPs for all of their active participation throughout the mandate. Thank you for always participating in the Regional Relations Officers projects. And I hope the projects in this mandate can be strengthened and developed in the next mandates. That is all from me. Thank you. Passing back the floor to the chair.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. We are now opening the floor for discussion. We have a new comment from a delegate from BEM FFOE Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for the floor. Rex from BMFO Indonesia. Hi, Evelyn. On behalf of my CP and my SEO and the whole BMFOE, we would like to express our gratitude for the hard work and the help that you had give to BMFOE, especially for guiding my CP, Yuri. All I can say that you have served amazingly as an RO. And once again, congratulations, and we deeply appreciate the dedication that you have given to all of us. Maybe that's all from me, giving back the floor to the chair.
Thank you so much, delegate from BEM FFOE Indonesia. We have a new comment from a delegate from ISMA Farsi Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. I'm Raihana from ISMA Farsi Indonesia. Hi, Kak Evelyn. First of all, congrats on your mandate. You were super helpful for me in explaining all of the CP duties. And also, I'd like to express my gratitude for accepting our invitation to be a speaker in one of ISMA Farsi project, specifically ISMA Farsi Joglo Sepur, Pojok. You even went to the extra mile by traveling just to be the speaker for our project. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for every effort that you put through this mandate. Also, good luck in what might happen in the future. Thank you. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, ISMA Farsi Indonesia. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from MyPSA Malaysia. MyPSA Malaysia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Yuan from IPSA Malaysia, and I would like to congratulate Evelyn on a very successful mandate. I would like to say you're the first person that actually welcomed me in IPSF APRO, and I feel very happy about it. And I remember there were some technical issues for our CP 101 training, which I find that it actually made us kind of close a bit. But thank you so much for helping us CPs out and also helping our SEOs. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And I know you've been busy throughout the mandate. And yeah, I think that's all for me. And I'll pass back the floor to Chair.
Thank you so much, MyPSA Malaysia. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from MyPSA Malaysia. MyPSA Malaysia, the floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Yuan from IPSA Malaysia. And my question to you is on base... Okay, my question is, what do you think could have done more effectively to support our SEOs in the Asia Pacific region in promoting their student exchange program? Is there any other strategies you wish you have implemented to help the SEOs in the Asia Pacific region? I'll pass back the floor to Chair.
Thank you, my busy Malaysia. Point of information, the Students Exchange Program is not the responsibility of the Regional Relations Officer. We were informed during their executive meeting that all Students Exchange Program related projects shall be directed to the Students Exchange Chairperson from the Global Office. However, for this mandate, the Regional Relations Officer expanded the portfolio. However, I would like to remind again that according to the official document, the Student Exchange Program is not in any way mandated under the portfolio of Regional Relations Officer. Thank you. I'm passing the floor to Evelyn to answer the question.
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Evelyn speaking. Thank you for the question you earn. Regarding the projects for our SEOs, maybe sharing a bit from what Moises just mentioned, trying to expand more on the projects for our SEO is quite difficult since we would have to go through global in each and every single one of our projects. Hence, when we started the SEP highlights in this mandate, we also had to go through that quite lengthy process before we were able to release our winter SEP highlights. How I would like to help our SEOs more is probably in their communications with our student exchange chairperson, and also helping them disseminate their information regarding their SEP availabilities during the application period. So if you see SEP highlights, it's usually published quite late, if you would say, if we were focusing on the application period. So I think one thing that could be improved in the next mandate is to really align the publication process with the application period of SEP. That would be my answer. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Evelyn. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from ISMA Farsi Indonesia. ISMA Farsi Indonesia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. I'm Raihana from ISMA Farsi Indonesia. So I would like to ask about the APRO branding competition, since the winner hasn't received the prize yet until now, despite the prize being a discount for the APPS registration. So may I know what was the reason for this delay? Thank you. Passing the floor back to the Chair.
Thank you, ISMA Farsi Indonesia. Evelyn?
Thank you for the floor, Chair, and thank you for the question, Raihana. Regarding the prizes for the branding competition, it was originally meant to be a discount for our APPS application fee, but since the announcement of the winners were actually done after the application process has ended, we decided to change it into a kind of like we could say a refund of the fee, because there is the amount of price that you would get. We were supposed to give it to you during APPS. However, since I was not able to be here the few days before, I wasn't able to liaise with Shinyan regarding the dissemination of the prizes yet. However, please do not be afraid. We will be getting to that by today. So we will be disseminating the prizes for the branding competition. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Evelyn. Now we have we have a new comment from a delegate from NSAPSA New Zealand. NSAPSA New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naaman X from NSAPSA New Zealand. A key part of the Regional Relations Officer is liaising with potential full members in order to ensure that the Asia Pacific Regional Office is the best represented at the General Assembly, and also ensuring that all countries within the regional office is represented at the Regional Assembly. My question is, are you able to evaluate your performance in connecting with potential full members this mandate, and also give us some more information regarding this? Thank you.
Thank you. And SAPS New Zealand, Evelyn.
Thank you for the floor, Chair, and thank you for the question, Naomi. So regarding the full membership applications, in our regional office, just to give you guys more information regarding it, currently the members who are viable for the full membership application is Bangladesh, Myanmar, and also Kazakhstan. During my mandate, I reached out to Bangladesh as one of our most potential full membership application. If you can see in my annual report, I gave the reasonings behind why I did not approach the other two countries. And while I was communicating with EPE Bangladesh, initially they were really interested in pursuing the full membership application. However, it fell through because of internal issues they had within their organization. And this is also something I would like to focus on because, in my opinion, expanding the full membership application is not just to gain more quantity, but also the sustainability of the full membership application itself. Hence, this is the reason why I did not push EP Bangladesh to pursue it in this mandate if they weren't ready for it yet. And that would be my answer. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from BMFF Unair, Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. I'm Karin from BMFF Indonesia. First of all, congratulations, Ka Evelyn, for your successful mandate. On behalf of BMFF UNAIR, thank you for paving the way for us in our IPSF APRO journey. Your presence, support, and spirit have truly inspired us. We're grateful to have you as part of our MOs, and your impact will always be remembered. Thank you, and I'm passing back the floor back to the Chair.
Thank you, BMF Unair, Indonesia. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from PSA Taiwan. PSA Taiwan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Jean from PSA Taiwan speaking. First of all, congratulations, Evelyn, on your successful mandate and we thank you for your dedication and contribution. My question is regarding the April prospectus. How will you ensure that your successor continues this important work and carries the initiative forward? Thank you.
Thank you, PSA Taiwan. Evelyn?
Thank you for the floor, Chair, and thank you for the question, Jean. Regarding regarding the April prospectus, the difficulties we faced were currently the RMPO proposal has been submitted to the RMPO. However, it is still in the designing process. So that is the current situation we are in. How I am planning to ensure that my successor continues this is to definitely have this in my handover and focus on how important it is to have it in the start of the mandate instead, since April prospectus is very important when we are trying to reach out to external partnerships. So for the next mandate, my suggestion would be to definitely get this started by the first quarter of the mandate and have it at least at the second quarter of the mandate. That would be my answer. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Evelyn. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from FJCPPHA, the Philippines. FJCPPHA, the Philippines, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Alex from FJCPPHA Philippines. First, thank you for your dedication, Evelyn. I would like to ask about the external partnership, why there wasn't any partnership, as you said a while ago during your presentation. Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, FJCPPHA Philippines. Evelyn?
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Regarding the external partnerships, I recognize that in this mandate, this was my weakness in my mandate. We did try to reach out to several sponsors for one of our projects from the RPO. However, it was a project where we didn't really have a lasting sponsorship from the previous mandates. So it was a new project where we had to find new sponsors and build new connections. However, in my experience, it was quite difficult to conduct that, and that is another reason why the external partnerships in this mandate might not be conducted as successfully as I had hoped for, is mainly due to the fact that it is not really my strong suit, and not anyone in my RWG, it's not really our strong suit either. Hence, it was quite difficult for us to find external sponsorships in this mandate. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Evelyn. Now I'm passing the chair to the Secretary of the Regional Office.
Thank you, Mr. John Moises D. Carta. I'm now passing the floor to the chair.
Thank you for the floor, Mrs. Carta, IPSF APRO Chairperson. Since the external portfolio is also under the guidance and portfolio of the chairperson, I would like to give notice, not just a notice, but an explanation as to why we did not have any partnership with other external partners this year. According to the annual report of the chairperson, it was because of the due to the leadership imbalance that is happening right now. We tried our best to connect with MIMS. We also tried our best to connect with OPELA for some of our projects, GPPED and APPS. We actually received an initial offer from OPELA to at least fund APPS through the help of the chairperson of external relations. However, we were informed just 2 months before the execution of APPS that OPELA had their leadership change with structure. So they were originally on a one company. However, it so happened that this year they decided to move as a independent company. That's why we failed to have a partnership this mandate. Also, just a notice to everyone that although we didn't have any partnership, there were more internal work when it comes to external portfolio this mandate. This year, we have found out that we don't have any existing MOU partnership and papers documented under the regional office. So we informed the chairperson of external relations, and this information will be passed to my chairperson, the incoming chairperson of the regional office, as well as the incoming RO of the regional office for the next mandate. Also, do note that since we are talking about external partners, one particular achievement of this mandate is that we have already applied for a youth council in WHO CRO through the help of the public health chairperson, which is a new one for our regional office. And we do hope that as a focal point person, the chairperson will be liaising with other healthcare student-based organization or youth-based organization around the Southeast Asian regional office. So I would say that even though we weren't able to really partner externally with other companies, we were able to improve more about our internal practices, as well as we were able to document the problems that is happening within the external portfolio of the regional office. And we do hope to pass this information to our successors. That will be all from me. I'm passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Mr. John Moises D. Carta. I'm now passing the floor to the chair.
Moises Carta chairing the assembly. We have a new comment from a delegate from NSAPSA New Zealand. NSAPSA New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Numinax from NSAPSA New Zealand. NSAPSA apologizes for not congratulating our lovely RRO on their very successful mandate during our first comment, but we are very, very proud of all of the work that you have done. We are very, very thankful for all of the work you have done to support all of the member organizations in this room and those who could not be physically present at this regional assembly. And we would also like to acknowledge all of the hard work that you have put into your mandate and juggling time zones as well. This question will also pertain to my previous questions as well. So Another important part of the regional relation officer, especially within ensuring the future and the growth of the federation within the Asia Pacific region, is reaching out to potential new member and associations such as Fiji. We would like you to evaluate your performance in reaching out to and connecting with potential member and associations this year, specifically pertaining to Fiji. Thank you.
Thank you, INSAPSA New Zealand. Evelyn?
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Thank you for the question, Naomi. Regarding Fiji specifically, we did reach out to the Fiji National University. However, which happened in the previous mandates as well, we did not receive a reply or any communications coming from the Fiji National University. Hence, pertaining only to Fiji, we were unable to connect with representatives from the Fiji National University pharmacy students.
Thank you, Evelyn.
I think the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Evelyn. We have a new comment from a delegate from INSAPSO New Zealand. Technical? Direct. We have a direct comment from a delegate from INSAPSO New Zealand. INSAPSO New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi Knox for NZAPSO New Zealand on behalf of NZAPSO New Zealand. And also, I would dare to extrapolate also on behalf of NAPSA and other Pacific member organizations. We would like to offer our support in reaching out to other Pacific potential member organizations, especially with time zone demands. And if any of us are physically visiting anywhere near the area, if ever required by the regional office, we, NZAPSO, would be more than happy to assist, as we believe that it is very important to have the Pacific and the Asia Pacific also represented, as there is only about 5 potential members, member organizations from the Pacific that can be part of IPSF. Thank you. There is no question.
Thank you, NSAPS New Zealand. Do we still have any new comments? I see none. We are closing the floor for discussion, and we are going to proceed with the voting. Full members, all those for? All those against? All those abstaining? Cameras ready? Motion 10 reads, this, the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts and adopts the annual report of the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2024 to 2025. Voting results, 10 for, 0 against, 0 abstain. Congratulations, Evelyn. Motion carried unanimously. I would like to give you the floor to address the assembly. Evelyn, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Chair, and thank you for the assembly for entrusting me and also entrusting me with this position for this mandate. This position has been definitely a wake-up call, and even though it has been one of the hardest mandates I've had in IPSF APRO, it has also been one of the most memorable one. I would like to thank my RWG for that, Kuya Moy, Ate Rika, Kaosea, and also Ryan. Thank you very much for making this mandate one of my most valuable one. I'm very emotional because This will also be my last mandate in IPSF. It has been a valuable 4 years with the Federation. And I would like to thank every one of you, every single one of you, even though we might have only met in this mandate, but each and every single one of you has left an impact and has also reminded me why I have always loved the Federation. But now I think it is time to focus on myself more and to take a step back from the Federation and maybe just observe from afar. And I would also like to that would be all from me. Thank you. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. Evelyn? Next motion, please. Motion 39. Motion 39 reads, this the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the progress report of the 10th IPSF APRO Good Pharmacy Practice Education GPPED program for 2025. We have the chairperson of the GPPED for 2025, Ivan. You have 7 minutes to report regarding the GPPED in NUSPOS Singapore, in NUS Singapore, top 8 in the world, top 1 in Asia. Ivan, the floor is yours.
Okay, wait. Okay, so I'll begin. So I'm Ivan, the chairperson of GBPED this year. So this year we held our GBT at NUSPS Singapore. So a bit of next slide, please. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so a bit of background of Singapore. So founded in 1961 and hosted the first APPS and 49th World Congress in 2003. We plan to host the 5th GBPED in 2019 but was affected by the pandemic. So next slide. So this is the project details. So we held it at the science faculty at NUS, and for the accommodations wise, we stayed at the student accommodations also at NUS. Yep, next slide. So this is just a snapshot of the accommodations. So for the project details, we had about 67 participants, including both local and international participants. So we used the NUS Science faculty buildings, and for those who were there, we also used the alumni house, which was quite a nice building to use. And to give a little background info on GBPED, GBPED is a 5-day international event held annually for pharmacy students and for NUSPS, particularly pharmaceutical science students also. And the program aims to establish pharmacy practice equivalence to reflect a consistent standard. So we were showcasing Singapore's healthcare landscape. Yeah. So these are some of the objectives of the event. So we allow Singapore's participants to learn more about good pharmacy practices and to apply the knowledge learned from GBT ED program, such as the site visits and the workshops, and to allow for exchange of knowledge of good practices from different cultural and environmental contexts. This brings me to my next slide. This is our theme for this year's GBPED. Yeah, celebrating 10 years of diversity and excellence. So this was reflected also in the logo, which is not here, sorry. Yeah, so this is the schedule of events. Next slide. Yeah, this was the schedule of events. So we had 2 workshops, we had site visits to 5 locations this year actually. So we did primary care clinics like polyclinics, and we did hospitals, and we also did specialist centers such as the National Skin Center and also the Institute of Mental Hospital. Yeah. So for some of the activities, like what I said, we also did the workshops. So the workshops were conducted by actually one of our professors who were teaching us for respiratory health. So she actually taught us the management of COPD in Singapore actually, and she was teaching about the inhaler techniques, also for all the different inhalers that we have. And also for our next workshop, we're talking about formulations and compounding. So this workshop was actually conducted by our student advisor, Dr. Linda Hong, who was teaching about pharmaceutics, and the participants actually made a cream-based formulations during the actual workshop as well. Yeah. So next slide. So for the speakers that we have, so I didn't include one particular speaker here, which is Mr. Kevin Bellawens. So we had 3 speakers for the Global Health Forum: Mr. Oswin Powell, Mr. Hao Tiwei, and Mr. Kevin Bellawens. So the Global Health Forum was held in the format of the fireside chat, and we'll be focusing on the pharmaceutical industry, and in this case also the community pharmacy, as we invited the CEO of APRO Foundation, and also he was the sustainability officer of APRO Pharmacy. So for Mr. Hao Tiwei, he was also of course we'll be focusing on the pharmaceutical industry side of Singapore, and he'll be talking more about providing access to oncology drugs. And also the facilitator that they had asked general questions to the speaker, and the participants has also raised their questions if relevant during the forum itself. Yeah. So other activities that we had were the social nights actually. So the social night were planned at the alumni house. So we had 3 social nights: the welcoming night, the cultural night, and also the last night, which is the gala night. Yeah. So next slide. So this is the provisional budget. This is the provisional budget. Because this slide was made before the event, so after the event, we revised the budget already. So to give a very brief summary of the budget, we have a deficit of 7,000 Singapore dollars, which will be self-absorbed by the society. Yeah. And the deficit is more due to the cancellations by some of the participants, and also the increase in costs for the venue booking. Yeah, especially for the social nights. To give some context, I think for the alumni nights, in the end, the venues were about more than 1,000 Singapore dollars. Yeah, just to book the 3 nights. The registration process, I will not dwell too much on this. So basically, they will scan the QR code and they will provide their details, and then we'll contact them subsequently for the registration. So sponsorship collaterals, this was quite hard for us, for the GBED committee to find. But to give a summary of the sponsorship that we managed to secure, we did manage to secure sponsorship for AstraZeneca and Yost Drink, and yeah, so for these 2 companies. But we couldn't find any monetary sponsorship, which is why we faced a budget deficit also. Yeah, and we also communicated to our NUSPS Society Com to also assist us, but they only managed to find us Kongguan Biscuit sponsorships for the event. Yeah. Yeah. I've ended my presentation. Thank you so much. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you so much, News Post Singapore, particularly the chairperson of GPPED. I'm now opening the floor for discussion. We have a new comment from a delegate from News Post Singapore. News Post Singapore, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the floor, Mr. Chair. I'm Tan Rui Si from NUSPS Singapore, the Vice Director Internal for NUSPS. Thank you very much to my chairperson for GPPED, and also our contact person for NUSPS Singapore, Mr. Ivan. You worked very hard for this event. We both worked very hard to plan this event, and I really do think that it was very heartwarming to see everyone enjoying the event. So please have a good rest, and congratulations on completing GPPED successfully. Thank you very much. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, News Post Singapore. We have a new comment from a delegate from NSAPSO New Zealand. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi Knox from NSAPSO New Zealand. First of all, NSAPSO would like to congratulate Ms. Singapore on your successful GPP Ed event. We have heard, even though we were unable, very unfortunately, to send any delegates from NSAPSO, we have heard so many positive things about the experience at GPP Ed this year, as well as all of the amazing events and amazing activities that you have done. So we would like to wholeheartedly offer you our congratulations, especially from one very expensive small member organization to another very expensive small organization. And as for my question, you pertaining to the deficit of 7,000 Singapore dollars, with the particularly with the canceling delegates, did you and the reception committee have any guidelines around when would be the deadline for people to be able to cancel and then still get reimbursed? Thank you.
Thank you, in Subson, New Zealand. Ivan?
Sorry. Yeah. So we did not set a deadline for the cancellation of registration because initially we wanted as many people, as many participants to join the event, and we were also facing also it was kind of my oversight on my side also because the two people settling the registration were only two members. It was just me and my secretary, so it was very tough for us to manage all the participants, and then we actually sent out many reminders since like I think March when they started registering, and we set the deadline way too late because actually for the accommodations wise we had to confirm in March. So means that I have to confirm them before they pay. And this was a very big problem for us because I had to confirm all the participants' information before they actually make the payment. So even when they tell us they are cancelling in April or May, we couldn't do much about it. So in the end, for the extra rooms that we had, we actually just rented it out to our local participants to stay. Yeah.
Thank you, Ivan. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from UFO Philippines. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. I am Vea from UFA Philippines. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you, Ivan, for a very successful GPPED. And my question would be, what were your key performance indicators and have you achieved your targeted KPIs? Thank you.
Thank you, UFO Philippines. Ivan?
Yes. We did not set any KPIs actually for this event, but our main aims were to conduct the site visits and invite the esteemed speakers for the forum. And I think that's what we achieved. Like we did 5 site visits to the different hospitals and the specialist centers especially. So our site visits were catered such that we'll visit the primary care. We'll also visit like the different specialists in Singapore, like specialist pharmacists, and we'll also visit like a general hospital which has like maybe some of the technology included also in the pharmacies. Yeah, and also the speakers, we also try our best to invite speakers that can contribute significantly to the discussion, and also when they are probably like leaders of their field or they probably work very long in the pharmaceutical industry, so they can provide like valuable insights to the participants. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Ivan. Now we have a new comment. We have a direct comment from Newspaper Singapore. Newspaper Singapore, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the floor, Chair. Just to clarify on the previous topic on KPIs and our achieved goals during this GPED event. Unfortunately, we have not been able to send out a feedback form yet to our participants, but generally from what we have heard, they genuinely did enjoy the site visits because specifically for the site visits, we have worked with 2 out of 3 of the healthcare clusters in Singapore, which will give a variety of insight to how different healthcare clusters in Singapore would manage the healthcare system and also the pharmacy systems. Because generally in each cluster, because there's a different leadership group, there is a different management system. And for each of the site visits, there is a variety in how, whether it's primary care or is it hospital care, because we do have 2 levels of care in Singapore. We do have the polyclinics, and we do bring our participants to experience both sides, which would be a good, which from the feedback I've heard, they were generally impressed and also learned a lot from both of the experiences. Yeah, so that's for the site visits. And also to clarify for the Global Health Forum, because it was held as a fireside chat with Ivan as the main coordinator of the fireside chat, in selection of the speakers, we made sure that all three of the speakers have come from different backgrounds, which would give our participants like a variety of things to look into and also to learn about during the Global Health Forum, which is why we think that generally it is quite a fulfilling and fruitful experience for them. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, News for Singapore. We have a new comment from a delegate from FGCPPHA, the Philippines. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Riona from FJCPPHA Philippines. So first of all, congratulations to Ivan, Richie, and Sinyi, and to the 11 committee members managing GPPED, and to NUSPS. On a participant's perspective, I just want to say that all of them, Richie was hosting every day, Sinyi was facilitating us during the site visits, and Ivan was always present, always there to oversee the event. And I also noticed them staying up further later after the event has already ended to meet up. And they had very little rest before APPS since GPPED was June 25 to June 29 and APPS was July 2. And uh, I I was one of the participants, and I can say that all of the activities were very productive and very enjoyable, and I learned a lot, especially during the site visits. And most importantly, we felt very welcomed as participants. And with this, we would like to extend our sincerest appreciation to the GPPED team for offering us this opportunity. And again, thank you very much and congratulations.
Oh, we're live. We have a new comment from a delegate from IPJSF India. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Abhishek Jain, IPGSF India. First of all, congratulations for conducting such a successful GPPAD. As the previous GPPAD host in 2023, we share heartfelt congratulations. And regarding the deficit of 7,000 Singaporean dollars, that's like a huge amount of money for any MO to bear. What would be your recommendations for the future GPPAD MOs before they fill in their nomination forms for hosting the GPPAD, and how should they manage their funds? Thank you.
Thank you, IPJSF India. Ivan?
Yeah, so I think to give a little bit of background, before we actually decide to host GBPED, we kind of knew that we are going into the deficit. So the society is prepared to cushion the deficit before we hosted the GBPED. Yeah, because we faced a deficit of $5,000 in our initial budget. And then we actually talked to our president and our student advisors, and they said that it's okay, it's a one-time thing, and it's an international event, so we will cushion the budget for this year. So I think moving forward, I think it's still important to actively source for external sponsorships, but it's also important to know your limitations. Like if there's a deficit and then you should be thinking of ways to manage that deficit. So is it that you are able to fund that deficit, or is it that we cannot bid for the event because we cannot manage that deficit? So I think it's important to not to leave it up to chance. Yeah, so have like a plan A and a plan B. Yeah, that would be it. So passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Chairperson of APPS 2027. GPPED, sorry. We have a new comment from a delegate from UFA Philippines. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. So, Shaina from UFA Philippines. So, I am also one of the delegates for JPPED, and I would just also like to say that it was really, really a great experience. It was one of the, I guess, best 4 days in my life because I was able to be exposed to the Singaporean health care, and at the same time, we were accompanied by great RCs. Even though you were just few, you were just I think 11 or just. Yeah, so I think that alone speaks that you were able to manage the other delegates as well, and I believe I am gonna do my best to also share the good word to other people. And just like what Riona said, we are really, really grateful for that opportunity. Even though you guys are also tired, you still look out for each and every one of us. So that is all, and thank you very much. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Now we have a new comment from a delegate from INSAPSO New Zealand. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Numinax from INSAPSO New Zealand. Pertaining to having to confirm the number of participants before, with booking hotels and stuff before you get the payment, do you believe that it could be beneficial for GPP Ed to, for the GPP Ed host to be organized earlier than is currently within practice within the regional office, such as the previous mandate or the immediately preceding regional assembly or face-to-face, depending on how the RWG wants to keep on deciding GPP Ed host? Thank you.
Thank you, INSAPSO New Zealand. Ivan?
Yeah. Regarding the timeline of the event, I still think that it's dependent on the host country because definitely their academic calendars must align. So we had to do it during our summer break, for example. So the host country will do it during their summer break. But I still think it's important to send out a feedback form to gather the responses from all the countries or people who are interested in participating to see what, in general, what's the timeline that's okay for everyone. Regarding maybe the hybrid arrangements of GBPED and whether we want to do it online or physically, I still think it's better to do it physically in the host country themselves. But that being said, I think it may be hard to find GBP hosts every year. So if there's a need to propose something, then I may propose it to be held every 2 years instead. Yeah, thank you so much. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Ivan. Now we have a new comment from the regional secretary. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the floor. Castiani Francisco, IPSF APRO Secretary. Hello, Ivan. Congratulations on a well-executed GPP Ed, and thank you for the thoughtful leadership you have brought to the table. Managing the event with only 9 active RSCs, 3 of which are actually ODs over here, and still pulling off successful execution is no small feat, and you and your team have truly come a long way. Definitely commendable. While the RWGs had specific responsibilities, I genuinely appreciated how you were engaged and included us alongside all other participants. It fostered a strong environment of shared learning and collaboration and served as a reminder that leadership does not exempt anyone from active participation. The balance made the experience more meaningful. Wishing you continued success for the remainder of your mandate, and may you one day bring APPS home again to a university and organization that stands proudly as top 8 in the world, top 1 in Asia.
Thank you, Secretary. We have a new comment from BEM FFOE Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for the floor. Rex from BMFOE Indonesia. So, hi, Ivan. First of all, I would like to congratulate for the successful GPPD, and I'm so happy that I can see my delegates from BMFOE are able to enjoy the GPPD. So I've been seeing my delegates making Instagram stories and sharing how much they had fun in the News Post Singapore, and they really had fun, and I'm very happy that you accept my delegates very well, and they can really have fun. And once again, I am so thankful for the hard work and wish you a success in further events. I think giving back the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, BEM FFOE Indonesia. We have a new comment from the immediate past chairperson. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. I would like to take this opportunity to tell everyone how it happened. It started off with our layover in Singapore between me and Moises on the way to Surabaya. Ivan didn't know what he was signing up for. He knew that only IPSF RWG would be stopping by. That night we were drunk and we were just talking to Ivan, would you like to host GPP Ed? And he was like, oh, why not? And that's how it happened. 6-7 months later, 70 people signed up for the event. It was more than the unexpected. We were very concerned whether putting GPP Ed next to APPS would be burden or challenge, or would it be a good addition? And you prove us right that it was amazing to see that even if you put events together, it could become a collaboration, even if we don't get to work together hand in hand, but We are IPSF APRO. So thanks to the alcohol, thanks to the urge, thanks to the spirit that you have, that you brought all the team from Nuspus to make it happen again, because being here since 2017, I have witnessed a lot of what if this is not happening? What if this is not right? What if this is going wrong? And I cannot think for my successor, how would I do it? But Evan and the team was the one who said, let me do it and prove myself, whether it works or not. And even if it was a hard road, I thank you for trusting in IPSF APRO, and thank you for executing one of the best GPP ad happening in 15 years history. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, immediate past chairperson. Probably later, after APPS, there will be a session again with. It might help us for APPS. Do we still have any new comments? I see none. Therefore, we're closing the floor for discussion, and we're going to proceed with the voting. Full members, all those for, please raise your voting cards. All those against? All those abstaining? Motion 39 reads, this 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the progress report of the 10th IPSF APRO Good Pharmacy Practice Education GPPED program for 2025. Voting results, 10 for, 0 against, 0 abstain. Congratulations to the reception committee of GPPED 2025. Motion carried unanimously. Yes. I would now like Ivan to address the assembly as the outgoing GPPD chairperson, probably incoming APPS chairperson.
I'd like to say that we will consider, but there are many limitations. No promises made. No promises made. Yeah, but I think looking at the past, we really only had 11 members, and our 3 committee members were the ones planning all the way until May 2025. So we'd like to give special thanks to Ms. Tan Rei Ti and Ms. Tan Xin Yi. They really worked very, very, very hard to make this happen. Yeah, and to our 8 committee members. Yeah, it was a challenge, definitely, because we had to delegate people at each value. So it's like, okay, 2 here, 3 here, then I can only have 5 there, So it was very tough working with very little members, but I'm glad that we made it work. And I think this just shows that, don't make promises lightly. And also, yeah, I hope you're enjoying the event, if those who come, and maybe Singapore will have more things to achieve in the future, perhaps. Thank you so much. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Looking forward to the reconsideration of APPS hosting. Next motion, please. Procedural motion. We have a procedural motion from ISMA Farsi Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. I'm Raihana from ISMA Farsi Indonesia. We would like to postpone. This motion to the first motion on the next session.
May we know the motivation?
Since the nominee is in her final for the competition. Oh.
It's RMPO.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Point of order from Samsung New Zealand and Samsung New Zealand. The floor is yours. Thank you. We were informed by the candidates beforehand that some of them are not able to attend this session in particular. So later on, we'll be giving more information regarding that. Thank you. Do we have the nominee for the Regional Media and Publications Officer? But allow me to read it first. Motion 42, This 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidate as the Regional Media and Publications Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2025 to 2026. We have one candidate, Jana, for the position of RMPO for the incoming mandate. Jana? I would like to ask the motions committee, do we have any time limit from the official document?
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Tray Motions Committee, as per the official document, the motivation speech for the election should be 3 minutes per candidate. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Um, I would now like to invite the candidate for the position of RMPO to present her nomination and her motivational speech.
Thank you. Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. So, 8 years ago, I was asked to lead our school's literary folio with no guide, no handover, no idea where to begin. But someone had to do it, so I thought, why not me? Since then, media work has followed me everywhere, not because it came easy or naturally, but because no one else stepped up. So I did. In the most Elwood's voice I could muster. What? Like it's hard? Hi everyone, I'm Jana Marie Salvador Co from UFA Philippines, and I'm applying as your next Regional Media and Publications Officer. From UST Tiger Shoot and UFA to UFA Service League, and most recently IPS APRO's Design Subcommittee member, I've crafted publication materials, edited videos, and handled tight deadlines. But being in a leadership position isn't just about delivering a project. It's also about creating direction. As the future RMPO, I plan to lead with a vision and structure. Here are the 6 core projects I propose for the next mandate. First, standardize branding across platforms as to ensure consistent visual identity across Adobe softwares and other platforms like Figma, Canva. Next, an asset repository for design consistency, which is a shared library of templates, mock-ups, reusable design elements to speed up content creation. Third, revise training modules for media teams. This includes a walkthrough of branding rules and activities like Spot the On-Brand Post, a 24-hour design challenge, and peer review feedback. Fourth, a structured workflow framework, which is a documented system for deadlines, task delegation, approvals, and feedback, supported by Google Calendar sheets to keep everything on track, which also includes the specific deadlines. Fifth, a team-wide feedback mechanism or a formalized review system for media drafts with a 50% buffer time before the final deadline, ensuring revisions are done efficiently. And lastly, interactive media strategy for external growth with a targeted additional 300 Instagram followers, 150 LinkedIn followers through interactive stories, polls, and short-form video content. Noticeably, these projects are plan-heavy, as I strongly believe that strong execution starts with strong planning. That's the kind of leadership I want to bring to the RMP role. In the minutes I've stood here, I hope I've given you a glimpse of not just what I've done, but of what we can do together. If chosen as the RMPO, I promise to bring vision and strategy, not just to my specific constituents, but to the whole RMP, APRO team. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. We are now opening the floor for any discussion. We have a new comment from a delegate from FJCP PHA the Philippines. FJCP PHA the Philippines, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Yona from FJCBPHA Philippines. So first of all, congratulations on your nomination and thank you very much for delivering your speech and your plans if elected as Regional Media and Publications Officer of IPSF APRO. So to give everyone background, I have worked closely with Ms. Jana under UFA Philippines. Just to give context, I am also serving as the Secretary for External Affairs of the UP Pharmaceutical Association Student Council, which is UFA Philippines. And as the Secretary for External Affairs, I am also the head of the Public and Media Relations Committee, the service league that is assigned for the publicity materials of the association. And this is the service league where Jana is one of my members. So she participated in 4 projects where she created several publication materials. So 1 booklet for our outreach to the deaf and hard of hearing community, 1 booklet for the freshman welcoming orientation, 6 publication materials for first dose, the one that was showed on the screen, a get together at the end of the semester, and 2 publication materials for the health campaign for the National Pharmacy Week. So I can say that she delivered her tasks very well in this publication materials that was assigned to her. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, FJCPPJ Philippines. I would like to request the assembly to use the open discussion to clarify some points, and possibly we can talk more about the situations and some comments during the closed discussion. Thank you. UFA Philippines, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. I am Vea from UFA Philippines. So first of all, I would like to congratulate Ate Jana for the nomination. And on behalf of UFA, I would like to express our full support for Jana Ko in her candidacy for the position of Regional Media and Publications Officer. So I had the privilege of interacting with Ate Jana during APPS 2024, where we were both recognized in the poster competition. And as a lower year student, I have always admired her leadership and dedication. In every research presentation and academic endeavor, she sets a high standard with her meticulous attention to detail and a collaborative spirit that uplifts everyone around her. Ate Jana's unwavering commitment to excellence makes her an ideal candidate for this role. I am confident that she will continue to lead and inspire with the same diligence and passion she has always shown. Her talents and work ethic would make her an invaluable asset to the position of RMPO. Thank you. I'm passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, UFA Philippines. We have a new comment from NSAPSA New Zealand. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi Knox from NZEPSO New Zealand. On behalf of NZEPSO New Zealand, we were very excited to see your nomination form in our Regional Assembly folder, as well as your experience and your beautiful, beautiful designs as they were flashed above. Yeah, huge congratulations on your natural talent, and I imagine also your work ethic to develop these skills. As for my question, I'm sure that you are more than well aware the Media and Publications team within APRO has 3 subcommittees as well as a variety of different sub-coordinators and also an editor-in-chief. How would you deal with team management of these 3 teams as well as communicating with your sub-coordinators and editors and people like that in your regard that you will have to work with during your mandate if you are successful? Thank you.
Thank you, NSAPSA New Zealand. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. So, as mentioned earlier, I first would want to plan everything. So, I want it to be as systematic as possible. So when there are deadlines, I want it to have specific timelines for example, or reviewing the materials, and then I would also want to use Google Gmails besides WhatsApp, because sometimes some people have their phones on do not disturb. So sometimes your WhatsApp's not, the messages from WhatsApp is not our devices don't recognize WhatsApp as an urgent message besides like Gmail. So I want to use that as well. So I also want to be more, to lead more with a strong fist. So I want to to ensure deadlines are met with regards to communicating with members. So every now and then, if one day they don't reply, I'll check. We'll have to check it again the next day. Maybe they're sick. So, for example, if they're sick, then we could go to another rotation for a next member. So that's it. So the same would be for the editorial, for the social media, and the design. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. We have a new comment from Insapso New Zealand. Insapso New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi next from NZAPSU New Zealand. Sorry, I'm just getting my comment up. In a scenario where you and your team come up with a social media campaign for an event, but once posted, a coordinator from the global media and publication portfolio reaches out and says it is not consistent with the global branding strategy, how would you respond to resolve this conflict while ensuring that both the needs of APRO and also the needs and official documents of IPSF, the Federation, are met? Thank you.
Thank you, Insapso New Zealand. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana Nomani. So, of course, revisions are nothing new in layouting. So, of course, there would be close communication to have uh, a a a shared united like branding between the IPSF Global and APRO, so that both needs are met as much as possible, because we still have our identity, and of course Global also has their needs as well. So of course there will be communication and revisions if needed, and I will work tirelessly for that. Night or day.
Thank you, Jana. We have a new comment from PISA Thailand. PISA Thailand, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Mei from PSET Thailand. Thank you for your presentation. Your presentation shows us such a strong passion in the position. But by the way, according to the RMPU position, this position does not require only a skill in graphic design, but also a good team management skill in order to supervise the work of a large number of subcommittee members. So my question is, what is your opinion regarding the current distribution of the RMPO teams department? And if you get elected, what would you like to adjust in dividing the department within your team, if possible? How will you distribute the workload equally to each subcommittee in the team? Thank you.
Thank you, PISA Thailand. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. So, as I know, there are around 30 members for the RMPO, and there are 3 teams. So, of course, I would delegate the tasks with the sub-coordinators, because I believe in that we should follow the hierarchy of of delegating the tasks down, and then of clarification. It's how I will manage the team.
Clarification from Jana. PISA Thailand.
Thank you for the floor, Mei from PSET Thailand. I would like to provide a clarification, like how will you prioritize between the workload and the numbers of subcommittee to like distribute the work equally?
Thank you for the clarification. Jana?
So, thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana Nominee. So, in terms of prioritizing the workload across the teams, I would want to set of course, a Google Sheets with the calendar, so that everything is planned and everyone already has their assigned task. I also want, for example, if there are events, there are already people assigned there, so that, for example, for the apothecary, someone would already know, they would already know what to write, and they would already know that they should know that event. And then as for the social media, they should know that, oh, I would prefer if there would be, of course, a rotation for the posting, because I've also managed some social media accounts for my publications, and then I've also worked with. I was also an editorial writer back when I was in high school, so I would know how it works as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Now we have a new comment from IPSA Malaysia. IPSA Malaysia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Yuan from IPSC Malaysia. And thank you for having the courage to step up to this role, to nominate yourself for this role. And my question is, referring to the current RMPO's annual report, how would you assess the overall progress and performance of the RMPO office during this mandate? And additionally, which initiatives or events do you believe should have been retained? Or which programs, in your view, should be omitted?
Thank you. IPSA Malaysia, Jana.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana nominee. So I would first like to congratulate Ryan for her mandate. And I would say that her mandate was full of leading with empathy and understanding, but also that there was lack of consistency in posts for a time. So APRO's account was a bit inactive for me. So that's something that I want to work on. So through even just short stories, not even just big projects, I want APRO's account to be like the first account you see when you're looking through your Instagram or your LinkedIn. And then something that I want to retain is I want to somehow retain the branding right now for the Instagram. And then I also like, there's not much that I want to omit. Rather, I want to work on, like, of course, how fast like the certificates would be given. But how, of course, that's more on working with the other committees as well. So that's it. Passing the floor.
Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Jana. Now we have a new comment from NSAPSA New Zealand. NSAPSA New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi Knox from NSAPSA New Zealand. RMPO is under one of the subcommittees under the Regional Media and Publications Officer is the ENT subcommittee, the Editorial and Translation subcommittee. IPSF is the official working language of English and also other working languages such as Spanish, French, and Arabic. However, we, the regional office, are able to provide additional translations in other languages outside of these four at request and as within our right. In your opinion, what would be, in an ideal dream world, what would be the ideal languages that you would look for within your editorial and translational subcommittee for people to be able to translate in order to reach the most members within the Asia Pacific Regional Office? Thank you.
Thank you, NSAPSA New Zealand, Jana.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. So, as you've mentioned, there is Spanish, Arabic. So I also want to include that. Also, I want to include, of course, Asian languages, for example, mine, Tagalog, and then, for example, Malay, and then Thai. That's something that I want because it's, as for some of us, English isn't our first language. We'd understand our primary languages more. There are some meanings that are lost in translation when it's in English, which we would know here right now. So So that's one of my examples for languages. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jana. We have a new comment from INSAPSO New Zealand. Motion comment drop. We have a new comment from FJCPPHA Philippines. FJCPPHA Philippines, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Luisa Puli from FJCPHA Philippines. So first of all, congratulations, Jenna. The RMPO is also involved in technicals, wherein workload complexity varies from online events to face-to-face ones. So I'd like to ask you if you had any experience in tech work and in broadcasting softwares. Thank you.
Thank you, FJCPPHA the Philippines. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana nominee. Yes, I actually have. Because of COVID, a lot of the events in UST Tiger Shoot were held online. So we had to stream those events. So I was one of those teams there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Now we have a new comment from News Post Singapore.
Sing Yi and USPS Singapore. Thank you for your speech. Actually, just tapping on to what Naomi has mentioned. Do you have any other plans for the translations subcommittee? If any, do please elaborate. Thank you. Passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, News Post Singapore. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana nominee. I'm not part of the translation ENT team, so I'm not as sure how active they were at the time. So I would have to refer back to my RMPO, but I would just like to I would want it to be active as well. That's the most thing that I could say right now, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from FJCPPHA Philippines. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Alex from FJCPPHA Philippines. Given that the RMPO is the most demanding portfolio, and with backlogs since 2 to 3 mandates ago, how will you manage taking on the backlogs while working on your plans at the same time? Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, FGCPPG Philippines. Point of information, it was only 2 mandates back, 3 mandates ago. I was the RMPO, there was no backlogs at all. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Jana nominee. So of course, as I said that I would do most planning, I feel like I would do a rigorous planning before the mandate starts. So that's something that I would want to do. I would want to list down everything, every future event or every backlog that we have, and then have that in the Google Sheets and also in the Google Calendar. I would want to have like a reminder for every before 2 days, before 1 week for the planning. For example, if there are deadlines for the subcommittee members.
Thank you, Jana. We have a new comment from a delegate from BEM-FF Unair, Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. I'm Karin from BMFF Indonesia. I would like to ask regarding to there are various type of form of that publication material and can have, one of them is the video one instead of the image one. As we know that if we doing image, we can do it together like through a share link, Canva, and anything such as like that. I would like to curious regarding to the tax delegations of the video, because I think it's probably preferable if they can meet in person and work it together regarding to the adjustment of editing video. I would like to know how would you address this challenge and how you would distribute the task delegation to your subcommittees. Thank you, and I'm passing back the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, BMF Unair, Indonesia. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Jana nominee. So it's important to know their locations if they're in the same university, because unfortunately, for example, in the Philippines, we're in an archipelago, so not everyone has like a plane or could catch a plane or catch like a boat ride to meet up. So if the locations align, I would prioritize the members who are in the same location. However, I would also want for a team collaboration. So, if possible, I would supervise how they would manage it. So I would give them examples of how to do it. So I have a strong vision in terms of video content. You probably couldn't see it earlier, but my style is more like Vox, if you know Vox style. So it's more like typographic stuff. So I would teach them first because I believe that even if it's remote, they could probably still do it with the right management, with the right communication. So I could probably go make a Zoom and then I'll show them how I do it. Thank you. Because I believe that even if they're not in the same location, they could still make a good video format. And if it's especially a short form content, they could still do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. We have a new comment from PSAT Thailand. PSAT Thailand, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor, Chair. Mimi from PSAT Thailand. Due to the RMPO's current workload, I would like to ask regarding your opinions about the AI usage in graphic design or other works to help assist the work of the RMPOs to make it easier if possible. Thank you. Passing the floor back to Chair.
Thank you, PSAT Thailand.
Thank
Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Actually, well, I'm not opposed to using AI as reference. I would not want my members to use AI to fully make a post because I believe that I call them artists and artists should not use AI and their job should not be in should not be replaced by AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Now we have a new comment from a delegate from Ensapso, New Zealand. Ensapso, New Zealand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Naomi Knox from NZAPSO New Zealand. As I mentioned earlier, IPSF has the working languages of English, Spanish, French, and Arabic. Currently, there is no working language of IPSS that is directly related to the Asia Pacific Regional Office, especially with the most common language within our regional office, joint between member organizations being Mandarin Chinese. Would you consider, especially if supported by member organizations, to encourage your chairperson to advocate within the EXCO meetings as to perhaps proposing to change this within the official document changes propositions that EXCO can put through? So just to restate, would you consider advocating for Mandarin Chinese with the support of member organizations to be one of the working languages of IPSF? Thank you.
Thank you, Ensapso, New Zealand. Jana?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair. Jana nominee. Yes, that would be possible actually. I know a lot of people who aren't even Chinese who know Mandarin, so that's actually a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Do we still have any new comments? I see none. Therefore, we're closing the floor for discussion and we are going to proceed to close discussion. Scrutineers, official delegates, you know what to do. Parliamentary system ready? Zoom out. Motion 42. This, the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidate as the Regional Media Publications Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2025 to 2026. Voting results: 1, 4, 7 reopened, 2 spoiled. Let me reread the motion 42. Motion 42. This, the 27th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to release the second call for nominations for the Regional Media and Publications Officer and postpone the election of this office to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed once this has been achieved. Procedural motion from IPSA Malaysia. IPSA Malaysia, please state your procedural motion. Clarification: if you would like to suspend the standing orders or delegate your vote. Thank you. Thank you, my PSA Malaysia. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by NZAPSO New Zealand. We're now voting for this motion. All those for? All those against? All those abstaining? Cannot abstain? Motion carried. We are now suspending the standing orders. I shall have the regional secretary to do the roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the floor. Cristiani Francisco, IPSF APRO Secretary. I will now start the roll call with our full member organization. Please raise your hand once your organization has been called. IPGA SF India, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, NZAPSO New Zealand, NAPSA Australia delegate their vote to NZAPSO New Zealand, FGCPPHA Philippines, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NewsPost Singapore, FOP Nepal delegate their vote to NewsPost Singapore, PSA Thailand, and ISMA Farsi Indonesia. Moving on with our members in association, MAPS India, BEM FFUE Indonesia, BEM FF UNIR Indonesia, BEM FUSD Indonesia, BEM Kemafar Umpad Indonesia, BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia, HMF APTB Indonesia, UOPMFCU Myanmar, APSA New Zealand, JPPHA PI Philippines, UFA Philippines, and PSA Taiwan. I am now passing the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. The next session shall convene 1 p.m. GMT plus 8. Kuala Lumpur time. You may take your lunch.